Okay. So we're talking about how to perform if else on multiple columns or two columns, right? So
Yeah.
let's say here you have column E, which talks about employment status. So it is expert, proficient, newcomer. And you have M column where we have voluntary, involuntary, right? Retirement type. Okay. So now we want to look at these two column E and M, okay, and create our own um, formula kind of thing, right? So let's say I put
Yes.
status or something, doesn't matter what header you put. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, um, if, okay, if two condition, okay, two condition is, what is the condition here that I'm looking at?
Um, Status and term type description. No, expert and voluntary equals to loss, else nothing.
Correct. So if status this M, okay, equal to voluntary, and okay, this previous status equal to expert, and okay, now again, before we get into it, this, and I think we have not discussed here, but let's
Yeah,
talk
you
about it.
haven't said, yeah.
Yeah, and or okay. So see, if you have two conditions here, if you have condition one, okay, and you have condition one or two, and if you perform and, so if first condition is true and second condition is also true, the result will be true. Result of and,
Yes.
okay, will be true. Rest, every time it's going to be false. So whether first condition is false, false, sorry, okay, it is false, true, or true, false, doesn't matter, it will end up being false. That means if both condition is true, okay, now in this case, we want both M to be voluntary and status to be expert. If both condition is true, will it then perform something? Okay. Otherwise, else. Okay. Now, in OR,
Anyone should be true.
anyone should be true. Okay. So true and true will be true. False and false is going to be false, but false and true will be true. So if I say, if either it is voluntary or expert, it should be loss. So either one value is true. Okay. So then you perform OR. So okay. So OR and not is only on one condition, right? So for both and OR, you need two conditions. Okay. But OR needs only one condition. So not true, sorry, not needs one condition. So not true is false, not false is true. So here I'll say equal to if, correct? This is how we put if, isn't it? Now in if, okay, the first thing is condition. So since we are using and, you will put and here. Okay, and what? And this equal to voluntary, okay, comma, this equal to expert. Okay, so this is your condition. So and will close now. So if this condition is true, okay, then we say loss. Otherwise, we say, now this is else condition, right? If you have one more, this is where you'll put one more condition. But here we don't have second condition. So I'm going to say, okay, or whatever, right? Okay. So see, you got loss. Now if I double click here, okay, voluntary, all expert. Okay, here voluntary, but proficient. So you get okay. Yes. So this is how you can use multiple conditions. I mean, conditions based on multiple columns. Clear?
Yes, it's clear. I'll try this out.
Yes. Okay. So you can apply and okay. Similarly, you can apply or okay, and else we have if you have to have add one more condition, here you can apply one more condition.
Okay. And here the columns can be given like in any order. Like if you have given E later and
Yeah.
M first.
Doesn't matter whether true and true or true and true, right? Okay, or it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, in or and order doesn't matter. Okay.
So we have an Excel class on Saturday, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, we'll communicate on group. Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Most probably, let's have it on Saturday. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay. So everyone, if you have any questions on Excel, please join on same time um, on Saturday, right? So your Saturday, we'll have it. Or you want to have it on Friday? Let's have it on Saturday, your Saturday. Okay. All good?
Swapnil, I have a
Yes.
small doubt,
Yes.
like in installing the SQL. So can I share the screen now or
Wait. Let's okay. We'll move to SQL in some time. Okay. Just wait. So shall we? Is it done? Shall we move ahead?
Yeah. Also regarding the last question, I had some doubts in Excel, the
Okay.
Bianca sales data. Yeah.
What was the last
G1.
question?
Bianca sales data. Yeah, it's like the second part, like given that management deemed to sell only profitable products during 21, what is your recommended selections of product lines?
Okay,
Profit equals to
that
total
is
revenue minus total cost.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't need formula for that. You know,
Yeah.
it is like what you think. Okay, it is totally
Okay.
based on your it's analysis. Okay, it's not a formula. So
Okay.
what do you suggest, right? How do you decide should it be profitable or not? Okay, so it's more of an analysis, not a formula. Yeah.
But you are analyzing based on something, right? So what decision? How do you take the
Yeah, that's
decision?
what I'm saying. It's up to how you think. Okay, it's not saying that find the sales which maximum sale product, right, or revenue per sale, right? It is up to you to decide.
Yeah, yeah, because it's saying profit equals to total revenue minus total cost.
Swapnil, sorry, in case you don't mind, can we please discuss on Saturday because we have not gone through these classes. I mean, we joined late, some of students. So I am
I
not
think
getting a clue.
like joined after you, Priyanka. Okay,
No, I have not done these,
you
I
were
mean,
supposed to do that.
Excel.
No, that's when you can ask me questions on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
but that's okay.
see,
Don't worry. Don't worry. See,
yeah.
anything extra is not a problem. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay.
See, I have to really adjust because of my baby. I adjusted the time, and I mean, I really want to get maximum out of this class. But since I've not gone through the classes yet, so we can discuss on Saturday.
No. This is helpful for others as well, right? So, okay, and we are not going to extend beyond the time. Okay, we have 1 hour session. We'll end it at 1 hour. Okay, anything more discussion should be fruitful for everyone. As long as it is within the purview of our topic, we'll do that. Okay, Priyanka. Not only
Okay.
for anybody. Okay, so don't worry that it's not going to extend that that we'll be doing 2 hours of session, anything like that. Any questions on what we have done should be helpful. Okay, and when you do this assignment, you already know what you're supposed to do, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. So like, in this case, you have to
Yeah.
come up with the step. Okay. You have to come up with step, what you want to do. The formula that is there, that is the formula to find profit. Profit is sales minus cost, right? That's what it says basically. So
Mhm.
now how do you use it? What, see, you tell me that, I want to analyze in this way. How do I find this value? I can help you. But the structure, the process, you have to come up with, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, okay, how do you decide, okay, if this session is useful to you or not? For example, now
Okay.
you have to come up with a step, okay, and then I can tell you, okay, this is how you calculate, right?
Okay.
So when you read that problem, it is more about analyzing. How do you, and once you analyze, when you put that thing, then obviously a formula will come to your mind. Okay, this is how I need to do. These are the values I need to use. Okay, and I think I have put answers also, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, we have put like
Yes,
total
yes,
cost. Yeah.
correct. So okay, so it's about your approach. How do you decide how to how do you arrive at that profitable number, right?
Mhm.
Some people might just want to look at sales. Some people want to look at profit, right? Some people might just want to have number of units sold. So what is your criteria? You define your criteria and then you come up with your formula,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we'll wrap up Excel. We'll move to our database. Okay. So yeah, somebody was asking about some questions on SQL, right?
Yes, Swapnil.
Yes.
Um, and can I share the screen?
Okay. Yeah, you can. I'll stop sharing.
The This is the error it's showing. This is the last step. I'm not
There
understanding
are
what.
some additional on the page. Click OK to close the viewer. Okay, say OK. Now it says, see, folder path specified is invalid,
Okay.
right? Change it. Why it is invalid? Can you show me your directory? See, when you are sharing something, right, please share the complete screen. Don't just share that portion of the code. Okay.
Okay.
Open a browser. I want to see your C drive.
Okay.
You have not shared complete thing. I still see your that configuration thing only. You have to stop and start sharing again.
Okay.
Yes. Now
Okay.
double click on it. Uh, program files. Now, can you go back to the error once again?
Yeah.
Okay. So folder path equal to C drive. That's the I don't know. Click on next. Let's see what happens.
No, it's not going.
Folder path is in. Okay, say okay. And click on that triple dot. Okay, and select a folder. Okay, go to your C drive program files. Select individually for each of the four, and try again. Okay. There are 4 errors now. Let's do one and see. Error should come down to 3. Okay. See program files.
Okay.
Okay. Click on that program files. Yeah. Then SQL Server. Scroll down. Yeah. Microsoft SQL Server. Yeah. Click there. Okay. Now click on MySQL. What is that? Okay. 150. Click on 150. Okay. And say okay. That's okay. Say okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So see, error has gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Now similarly, do it for all the other 4. You can copy and paste. Okay. Say cancel. Cancel. Try to copy the first data directory. Copy. Control C and paste it in all the 3 locations. Control V. Not working. Control V. Okay. Yeah. Say next now. You have some bigger problem. Okay. Say okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now can you go to C drive? Okay. Or open a browser with the, yeah, you have already copied, right? Just open the browser, same path. See program files, SQL Server. Yeah. Paste it there on the top. On the top. On the, yeah, there. Paste it. Okay. Hit enter. And say right click. Try to create a folder here. Right click. New.
New.
Yeah. You're able to create, right?
Yeah.
So can we go back to your error?
Mm,
Can you hit back? No,
Yeah.
down. Yeah, just go back. Mixed mode. Okay. One more back. Check that box. Grant perform volume maintenance task.
Sure.
Yeah. Can you go a little more back? One more step back. Named instance. Okay. Okay. Just go next. Let's see.
Okay.
Um, Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Here is error coming.
Okay. Say next. Say okay. Let's go back again. Go back. Okay. Now say next. No.
Also.
Yeah, go next. one more next. Just hold on.
Mhm.
Okay. 1 second. Is this a second installation? Have you installed it before also?
I think this is the third time I'm installing.
So what happened at the first 2 times? Was it
All the
uns-
3 times I'm getting the same issue.
okay? Can you go to program files once? I want to see if the studio is already installed. Go to program files or in the type, okay? In the type to search, right? No. Okay. In the search, you type management studio. No, down, Windows.
Mhm.
Okay, type SQL Server or okay, type SQL Server space management. No. Keep on typing space server. I want to see all the things. Okay, type management. You don't have it. Okay. Okay. 1 second.
Is this anything because of the firewall?
Yeah, but it should have been given error before. Just think why it is giving error now.
Mhm.
Okay. It is probably because you have done multiple installation. Okay, keep going back. Wait, I'll just go back to the installation. Yeah, close it. Go back. One more step back. One more step back. Yeah, just say default instance,
I'm sorry.
not the.
Sorry.
Next. Yeah. Say default instance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now go next. Next. Yeah, next. Next. Still you're getting some error. Say okay. Okay. Folder path specified is under valid folder path. Click on the server configuration next to data directories. Okay.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
Okay. Did you change the path or did you have the default installation path when you started in the beginning?
Yeah, it showed me the C drive, so I just kept it and not change anything.
You did not change anything, right? Nowhere you changed, no other path you changed.
No, I changed.
Okay. Cancel and after the session, try to install again. Okay. And don't change anything. Cancel it for now.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, say yes. Okay. Now go to your C drive, program files. Program files. No, it's yeah, you can. Okay, go to program files. Okay, so can you click on Microsoft SQL Server? Okay, now go back to program files, delete this folder. Okay, delete Microsoft SQL Server folder, just delete it. Okay, you have not installed it before, right? First time you're trying to do, yeah. Delete it. Okay, and okay, let's try to install it again. And if the installation proceeds, that means it should be good.
Okay.
No, yeah, you are. Have is the folder open somewhere else?
Let me check.
Yeah, or let's do one thing. After the session is done, right? You restart your computer.
Okay.
Okay. After session is done, restart your computer, delete this folder, and try to install again. If you face any problem, just post that screenshot. In the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, no, it's just cancel or try again. It's cancel, right?
Yeah, cancel it. Because if you try again, also it will not help.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sapna.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, restart and try to try to install again.
Sure.
Okay.
Swapnil?
Yes.
Hi, I would like to share my screen too.
Okay.
I have installed it, but I cannot open it. Something.
Okay, go ahead.
So, are you able to see?
Yes.
Okay. So, I've installed Studio as well. So, if I try to
No,
open it,
this is setup. Okay. This is not what you should do. In the type management studio, that's the installer, right? Okay.
okay.
You go to
So just
search.
type here.
See, that's what I'm saying. You have to follow the instructions properly. Yeah, type there, management studio, type management. Yeah, you see that on top? Click there. Topmost, yeah. Click on it. Okay, say connect. Right. It has opened now, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I hope everybody has got the setup correct. Okay. Okay. Getting setup is important, right? If your setup is right, you can try a lot more things. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Can you see my screen, everyone? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, we can see
Hello.
that.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great.
So just one question before we
Yes.
start. So do we need any Excel knowledge to start SQL and all?
No.
No, right? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
No, yeah. So, okay, so this is my Maven Studio, and I've already told you how to reach to this level, right? I've selected library database, and this is my query editor. So whatever I do here will go to my database here, right? Now, the first thing that we are going to learn is how to create a table, right? Creating a table, right? Now, again, I told you to do that assignment before, right? Understand how many tables you need, understand, sorry, how many columns you need, and also the data type. I hope you have done it. Okay, so I'm going to do some sample table, but you follow your own structure that you have, right? Not now, of course, after the session, you create the tables. Okay, I'm going to show you how to create the table. You follow the structure that you have created. Okay, so first thing is create table. Now, the commands which I'm going to tell you, okay, I'll tell you if the commands are different for different database. But right now, what we are doing is same whether you work with SQL Server or you work with Oracle or any RDBMS, okay, which uses SQL language, the syntax command will be same. Okay. Okay. So create table, and this is case insensitive language. Doesn't matter whether you give all capital, all small, or mixed. Okay, it doesn't matter. So this SQL is case insensitive. It does not depend upon the case. Okay, uppercase or lowercase, you are free to use that. Okay, so now I'm going to say create table. Okay, and since anyway I'm using library here, if I don't mention, it will be added to library. But just to follow the exact rule, I'm adding the database name. So this is your database name dot the schema. So remember when we created table yesterday, we gave default schema, the schema as default. So schema, you can think of it like a sub database. So it is like you have a big house and you have multiple rooms. So if you're creating tables, you can decide which room to keep your table. By default, DPO is schema, and I'm going to use same DBO only. Okay, so default schema. So DBO. So database name dot schema name dot table name. Okay, so I'll call it as members. Okay, and I hope everybody has seen the note yesterday. I have given you the the different data types. Okay, so we have data types for string, float. Do you remember? Let me open and discuss now. Give me a second. Yeah, this is what I have already said. Okay, so if you look at, you have bit, tiny int, small int, big int. These are the data types that you use for integer. Then you have decimal. If you have to use decimal values. Okay, so we give decimal p comma s. P is number of the maximum digits that you'll have before left of the dot, and s is the digits after decimal point. Okay, you can use numeric as well. Okay, you can use money if you want to save as a currency. Okay, so salary you can use as a money data type. Then you have float, you have real, you have date. If you want to store only date, then you use date. Okay, so date will have this format, YYMMDD format, like this one. Okay, if you want to store both date and time, then you use date time. In date time, if you don't give time, it will take midnight as time. Okay, you have date time too. Okay, we'll use one by one. Okay, you have character and varchar. These are the mostly we use. Character will reserve that many characters. Okay, for example, mobile number, you have 10-digit mobile number, right? So you can say char 10. So it will reserve 10 characters. Varchar is variable character. So even if I say varchar 30 and if I use only 5 letters, it will assign only 5 letters for that value. Okay. So even though you are saying 30, but you are saving the space there. So like name, for example, some names could be only 6 digits, 7, 8 digits or characters. Some could be 15, 20 characters, isn't it? So, that's where we prefer to use varchar. So mostly we'll be using varchar. Okay. Let's go back to our studio. So I'm going to say create table. Okay. So create table. This is the fixed command. You can't change this. Okay. This indicates that I'm creating a table. Create table, database name dot schema name dot the table that you want to add. Okay. Now I say bracket open, simple bracket open and close. Okay. Within this bracket, you need to give all your columns. Okay. All the columns. So I'm going to give name, or I'll call it as full name. Okay. Then you define. Okay. We need to have a primary key, right? The key that will uniquely identify that row. So I'll call it as member ID. Okay. Now, when you're defining the column name, you cannot give space. I cannot say member space ID. I cannot say full space name. You can write member ID, you can write full name, or you can give underscore. Okay. You can give underscore, but no hyphen, no semicolon. Okay. And it has to be one single word. Okay. So member ID, comma, full name. Okay. Comma, phone number. Okay. Let's say email ID. Okay. So these are the information that I want to save here. Right. Okay. So
Sir,
yeah.
what is that? Also, the member is the data type, right?
Member which one you're talking? Member ID is column. I'm talking about columns only, right?
No. The DBO dot member.
DBO schema name. This is table name. I'm creating a table. So this is your table name.
Okay.
Table will have all these columns.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't
got
it? Okay. Now I'm saying member ID. Okay. And full name, phone number, email ID, right? So column, comma, another column, comma, another column. And when you are done, no comma, right? You just close the bracket. Okay. Now we need to define, or we need to add the type. Okay. So the name itself is not enough. We have to tell what kind of information you are going to store here. So I'm going to say member ID int. Okay. And I told you, right? This is case insensitive. Doesn't matter whether you write small or capital. So don't focus on case. Okay. Int spelling is important. I'm saying it is integer type. So member ID will be integer type. Full name will be what type?
Varchar.
Varchar. Okay. Varchar. And then varchar follows with the simple bracket, right? That's what we saw here. Varchar has a small bracket and then you put n here. N indicates number of maximum characters that we will be storing. So let's say we put 40. So I'm saying, full name cannot be more than 40. Okay. So varchar 40. Now phone number. Phone number I can say, okay, char 10, let's say. Okay. And email ID. Again, let's say varchar. And here I'll say only maybe 20. Okay. So we are ready to create. This is the minimum thing that we have to do. Okay. Column. So create table, define the table. So database name dot schema name dot table name. Okay. The column name, the data type of each column. Okay. And now we have to add constraints. What are the constraints we discussed so far? What are the constraints?
Not null.
Not null.
And
We start
Yeah.
with primary key. Okay, main thing is primary key, correct? Primary
Yeah.
key, not null, unique, correct? Check,
check
okay.
default.
Default, yes. Okay, so member ID is our primary key. Okay, so we say identity. Identity. Okay, identity primary key. Okay. Now, why do we use identity here? Okay, so let's talk about it. So far what we have done. Still we are not ready. Okay, so create table. Okay, your database name dot schema name dot table name, right? Bracket open and close. Within the bracket, we need to give the column names and the data type optionally. Okay, but though we say optionally, but it is must in a way. Okay, every project that you do, you will end up with giving these constraints. Add constraints if any. Okay, so see, constraint is primary key. Okay, for a minute, let's forget identity. So let's focus on constraint. Then we'll talk about identity. Primary key. Okay, we can make full name as not null. Let's say we make it as not null, right? So your name will, so you cannot enter a new record when we try to insert, when we try to add a new rows, a new record, we have to add a full name. Otherwise, it will not accept. Okay. Now you can use identity to generate unique values, auto generate. So we don't have to remember what was the first member ID. It will start automatically from 1 and keep on growing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So we don't have to remember, what should we give as member ID. Okay. Now this component is unique to SQL Server. Okay. In Oracle, we have auto generate. Now, see, I told you there are some SQL is managed by third party, ANSI. Okay. ANSI sets the standard for SQL. So ANSI has not told about auto generation. ANSI has spoken about the structure, column name, column type. So what you see here, here is all told by ANSI. Okay. So whether you run SQL Server Oracle, you have to, same command will work. But what Oracle and SQL has done and others have done is added extra features. So nobody is stopping you from adding extra features. Okay, so both Oracle also has it, SQL Server has it. But since it is not dictated by ANSI, they have chosen their own name. So here, if we want to do it, we call them identity. Okay, now we are ready to run this query. Okay, so let me, yeah.
Swapnil,
Yes.
so does that mean that if we add a row, like if we keep on adding a row, it will automatically give the integer
Correct.
values in
Correct.
the member ID?
Correct. We
Okay.
don't have to we don't have to give extra, when we assign values, right? We don't have to give
Yeah.
value to member ID. We don't
Okay,
have
it
to
will
give
automatically give
automatically.
it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. So now click on execute. Now, okay, before we execute here, if you click on tables, you see you have system tables, file tables. If you click on file tables, okay. Okay, if you see, click on system tables, external tables, graph tables, all blank, right? It does not have anything because we just created it yesterday, correct? Now, when I go and say execute, see, command completed successfully. Okay. Now you go and refresh this. It's not refreshed. Okay. Refresh.
At the top, you have refresh button. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Right click and refresh. Oops. Wait, what happened?
Numbers.
Okay. Now to check if this been added or not, if you execute here, okay, it says there's already an object named members in the database. Okay, so you cannot have tables with duplicate values, right?
Duplicate name, I think, like.
Duplicate name, yes. Now, so this is the way to do it programmatically. Okay, it might see here. You see here tables here. This is where it has come, members. And when you click here, so this sign you see, this sign, it took some time to refresh. This sign tells you that what we added is a table. This is a table sign that you see, table like sign. And you click on columns, it tells you the column names. See, member ID, full name, phone, email ID. Okay, member ID is a key. PK means primary key, and that's why it has a key, against itself. Okay, full name, phone, email ID. Okay, it has also a separate column for keys. Okay, every key will have a unique value. So we PK underscore members. PK means primary key, underscore table name, underscore. It has added its own value to it. And we'll create one more table and we'll see what happens here. Any constraint? Okay, there is no constraint here. Triggers, indexes, we have not created, but I told you primary key will automatically create an index, right? We can define our own index, but primary key will have its own index, right? Okay. Now, another way is on tables, right click and say new table. Okay, you can talk about temporary table, graph table, external, but I'm going to say table here. You don't have to remember all the things. Okay, it's good to remember because sometimes in the interview they might ask you. So it's good to remember this, but SQL Server or Man Studio makes it so easy for us. So let's say this is column name, right? It has automatically added a table called dbo.table_1. See, table underscore one it has added. Now I can give a column name here. So let's say I later I'll go and rename the table 1 to books. So I'll say column name book ID. Okay, what data type? So see, it has given you all the data types here. You don't have to remember, you can just choose. Okay, so this one I'll put as integer, book ID. LR nulls, no. Okay, now I can add title. Okay, book title automatically has added ncat 10. Say author and say cost, right? So here I go and I'll say you can put real, you can put money, right? LR nulls, let's say we put all yes. Okay. Now, how do we save it? Okay. So when you click on save, it asks me enter a name for this table, right? I call it as books. And I say okay. Right? Now here bottom you will see all the values here. Okay. Now let's say I go and click on book ID. So name, book ID, allow nulls, no, data type integer, default value or binding. Okay, you can say default value. Okay, description, all these things. Okay. So you'll see the properties of each column here. Now you go and refresh this. You see, book, table book has come. Now here, keys, there is no key here. Okay, there is no key because we did not create a primary key here. Okay, we have not created a primary key here. Okay, we needed to create this as primary key. So you can actually go and add as a primary key. Okay, how to do that? Book title. Okay, now let's go here step by step. Identity specification. Is identity? No. So right, we'll make it as yes. So it becomes identity auto increment, right? Identity increment and identity seed. So the initial value will be 1 and it will start with incrementing by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Now, how do we make it primary key? Okay. How do we make it primary key? You right click here and say set primary key. Now this has become a key, right? So now if you go and refresh again, you don't have to refresh, you have to just save it. Okay. So now you go and click on the keys. You see, PK, no, this is members, right? Sorry, books. Okay, I think we have to do refresh. Okay, it says, see, you have to drop and create again. Okay, you cannot add sometimes. Okay, so how do we drop? So I'll go here. Okay, or you can directly say, okay, books, right click and drop. Script table as, okay. So see here, when you say script table as, these are the options. Create table. Okay, if you want to create a table, you click on this. Okay, it will create a, see, this is exactly what we did, isn't it? It's saying this is how you this is how you to create the command to create a table. This is what we did, right? Create table, schema name, books, book ID, right? And then we said go. Go is like execute. Okay, this is again your SQL Server specific. Okay, so this is create to. Now to drop it, okay, I will go and I'll say script table as drop. Okay, so it will open a query for drop. So drop table name, drop table name and table name. Okay, this will drop the table. Now this is an extra command to check. So it is, see, when you create any table, the information is stored in sys objects. Okay, so before I drop, I'm checking if exist, select star from sys object where object ID equal to DBO books. Okay, we'll talk about this when we get into our query. Okay, so don't worry about it. It just checks if dbo.books exist. Okay, if it exists, then it's a if condition, right? If this is true, it will go inside. Otherwise, it will not go inside. Or if you do not want to do that, you can just select this and run. But what I want to do is, okay, anyway, I have the create query, right? So I'll say drop execute. Command completed successfully. And again, if you refresh your library, the table should be gone. Okay. So see, books is gone. But luckily we have saved the query here. So, we don't have to, worry about how to create. I'll go and I'll say here, primary key. Okay. And if you want, you can say identity. Before saving, if you have done it, you can do it in the settings. Once we are done, okay, we'll go and run this. Okay. So use library. Use library, that means I'm using library database. You can directly say use library once, and then you don't have to say library dot, right? That means, see, even if it is something else here, right? Master or something else, moment you say use library, it will be changed to library. Okay. So for example, I can show you this. Let's say I put master here. Okay. Now I say use library and I execute it. See? Command successfully completed and it got changed to library. So whatever I do here will be on library itself. So I'll select all and I'll say execute. So now again you refresh and you get tables here. You see, books has appeared. Okay. So what we have done today so far? Tell me what we have done.
Creating a table.
Yes, we learn how to create and delete a table, right? Drop is to delete, right? So we have learned how to create and drop a table. In create table, you need to understand the column types. Okay, and apart from that, we discuss primary key, all the constraint except foreign key. We have not done foreign key. Foreign key we'll do it tomorrow when we meet. And we learn how to create different nulls, different constraints like not null, unique. Okay, all those things you can add it here. Okay, if you want it to be, see, by default it has added null. Okay, if you want it to be unique, you can say unique. Unique will accept null. Other than null, the values cannot be duplicated, cannot be repeated, right? And we have created table using both SQL command, and using the UI option provided to us by Management Studio, right? So, so this is how you can create. Now the assignment is to think of all the tables you can for a library management. Okay. Tomorrow when we meet, we'll talk about the different tables that we need to create, different columns. But before we do that, we will go and perform. We'll just have an introduction about ER diagram tomorrow. And next week, we need to build ER diagram. Okay. So we'll stop here for Management Studio. We now know how to work with Management Studio, how to create tables. Okay. Next important thing is to work with ER diagram. ER diagram is a design aspect of table. So before you create table, you need to create the ER diagram. Okay. Entity relationship diagram. So we'll talk about it. Okay. And then we'll come back and we'll create a project. We'll do the library project. So with that, we will finish our first part of SQL, which is creating table and understanding table. Then we will get into the crude aspect. Okay. Create, read, update, delete with the database table. Fine. Any question before we end? All good, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please